Welcome to Clydesdale Homestead. I'm Tamlin. Today is a beautiful, snowy, foggy day. We do not have to go anywhere, and it's a great day to work on our pantry organization. So Harold is out working on the road right now. We got about 4 or 5 inches of new snow overnight, and it's beautiful. I love days like this when we don't have to go anywhere. So let's head into the house and we'll talk about what the next step is for our Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. If you are following along with the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge, the rules are you get to make up your own rules. Just another view of the snow. So my goals were to, 1, clean out the kitchen, refrigerator, and freezer, which I have done. Yay! The second part was to store some dry goods that we had purchased but not put into mouse-proof containers yet. I finished that up. And the next part was to organize all the empty jars. I was given 3 cases, that's 3 dozen, of new quart jars a couple weeks ago, and they are all washed and cleaned, and they need to be organized. I also have some bunch of empties up here in the working pantry that don't need to be here, and I need to get all of them downstairs and bring any jars of food that we want to start eating upstairs. Okay, this is a room in our basement where we keep a lot of our freeze-dried foods that we're not using right away, and we rotate them with the food we have upstairs. I also have some boxes of winter squash I bought recently, and these that we grew that need to be organized. There are empties. Everything's kind of mixed up. Nothing's in an order that makes any sense at all. So that is the next step of my project. We do have a freeze dryer, and we've enjoyed using it and making all sorts of freeze-dried things. This is cheese. We have quite a bit of cheese because we love cheese. Elderberries, peppers, blackberries, freeze-dry really well. That's some ghee that I made. There's a couple jars of that. Some canned milk. These are all tubs full of different types of freeze-dried things. They're mostly full, which is why we have overflow here. This is ice cream sandwiches. That was my husband's idea. Have a fun treat and snack. I don't care for the texture of them just because it's hard and crunchy, but other people like them. So in here we have different freeze-dried fruits that we did. Some of them we bought in bulk. Some of them we grow ourselves, such as the rhubarb. Over here we have some vegetables. We actually grew a lot of mushrooms this last year. So those are all mushrooms that we grew. And then, of course, some hatch chilies, some broccoli. And in this one we have, some meals, which is nice. Charred eggs, lots of freeze-dried eggs from our chickens. More cheese, tomatoes. We did a lot of tomatoes this year. And again, it's overflowing, too full. Down here we have, these are amazing. These are a freeze-dried tomato topped with Parmesan and Italian seasonings, and then you broil it so it's all gooey. The first pan of these that we did, we just ate the tomatoes directly out of the oven, and we didn't even get to freeze-dry them. They were so delicious, but after they are freeze-dried with that cheese and everything, they're crispy, crunchy, just like a cracker kind of, but so delicious. That is we made lots and lots of those. But you can see everything's mixed up. Doesn't make any sense. We started buying these 2-quart jars when we got the freeze dryer, and previously it had everything all organized, all quarts, wide mouth quarts, regular mouth quarts, pints, and then we started getting extra jars and everything just kind of got mixed up crazy. That is turkey broth, freeze dried. What's this? Tomatoes, rhubarb, everything's willy-nilly in here. Our canned peaches, This year we did some different varieties. I wrote it down because no one's ever going to remember what those initials stand for. So this year we did Coral Star, Elegant Lady, and Crest Haven. And I have to say the Coral Star make the most beautiful canned peach. My favorite peach actually is Diamond Princess, but they didn't have those this year, and it actually is not the best for canning. It's my favorite fresh eating. But these are all good canners, and we're still deciding which ones we like best. It looks like the Crest Haven gets a little bit maybe separated when it cans, and you can see that the Coral Stars stay nice and firm. They're a pretty bright color too, and so they'll probably be our favorite for canning. See how these peaches are kind of separating a bit. They're not bad. It's just a texture thing. So you can see the difference on how those peaches hold together. So that's our peach experiment. We did try some candies and marshmallows. I don't care for those. I like things to be chewy and soft. But those are freeze-dried candies for fun. More eggs. This is raw eggs, which is fun to do. Our chickens have been doing great. Tomatoes, salsa. This is honey. So, like I said, all mixed up. More of those tomato Parmesan chips. So yummy. I should open some of those. Peaches, freeze-dried zucchini. We also have yellow squash. We grew a lot of those this year, and we're given a lot by a friend. Then we have beef broth, canned. Some freeze-dried green beans. We grew those this year. Those are great to just dump in soup. Cabbage, more spaghetti sauce, more cheese. Raspberries, freeze-dried raspberries are really good. I like to just put them on my granola in the morning. More random empties. Those are all different types of tomatoes, tomato products, or salsa. These squash, like I said, they grew in our yard, but they were volunteer, and they are a hybrid. So as they were growing, everyone said, oh, it's spaghetti squash, but it wasn't. I knew it wasn't because of the color. They're the shape of spaghetti squash, but whatever grew was something we'd had the previous year, obviously, and it was probably a pumpkin that had been crossbred with something. We got several pumpkins from a pumpkin farm, different shapes and sorts, and we bought quite a few more than I intended to, because my son and his friend started walking through the pumpkin patch and jumping on the stems of these giant $70 pumpkins. So breaking the stems off. The owner was not very happy, and we came home with a lot of pumpkins. We were very decorative that fall. So I'm assuming that these grew from a seed from some of those pumpkins, and they are not delicious. They do have a bit of a spaghetti squash texture inside. So we actually have been feeding them to the chickens throughout the winter, which is great. I love growing produce and food for our animals, and I think it's a great way to go. So I need to cut up another one of these. They're hard as rocks, and send it out to the chickens so they can have some great vitamins in the snowy time. But they do take up a lot of space, so we'll get those moved out. And so we have room for the good stuff that we bought in bulk, some butternuts, and some actual spaghetti squash. Then we also have a lot more shredded zucchini and some of our extra vinegars back there, it looks like. So as you can tell, this area needs a lot of work. It needs to be organized, and we need to get some of these things taken upstairs, like the peaches, so we can start eating them more. I'd like to take some tomato slices up. Those are a great snack. And make this more organized so we can get through the hallway in the middle of this room, and everything is easy to find and accessible. Thank you for joining me on my pantry cleanup. If you want to see the end results of my work when this is all done, please subscribe to our channel, hit the thumbs up button, like the little bell, whatever it is you need to do. Leave me a comment about what you'd like to see more of in my pantry. If you have any questions about the things that we make and things that we store, give me a comment down below. And and I'll see you next time when this is all clean and organized and we'll go over it. Thanks for watching.